Um, Good afternoon, everybody. Distinguished guests and our panel speakers as well. Welcome to FPT Software Park, although I believe most of you come here every day. So thank you for welcoming us. The four of us are not here every day with the exception of Diha. I'm sure you're here a lot. We have a few guests joining us from Europe. We have myself coming from Saigon, and of course, Diep, who comes here all the time as well. But it's not every day that we come to FPT Software Park, and what a brilliant campus you guys have. Congratulations, much nicer than my office. Today's seminar will be about women in tech and breaking through the barriers. It's organized by our friends at VNExpress, who champion this topic and talk a lot about it. And we're gonna start in just a few minutes. So if you could set your phones to silent, we'll be going through the seminar for about the next hour, perhaps a bit longer, so we can start. Keep in mind, today's seminar is broadcast live on VNExpress and on the fan page. And if you'd like to check it out online, tell your friends about it, they can hop on the webpage and listen in today as well. So today's topic, women in tech. I see a lot of our guests in the audience are women, perhaps 90%, maybe everybody actually. Didn't realize that. Well, a couple people, you're not women, you're in the back. And what I've realized working in not just tech, but just general business in Vietnam, the emergence and diversity that's coming with more and more people joining the workforce. And in fact, we have some interesting statistics here, for instance, that like 6% of more women are joining the tech industry just this year alone. And to give perspective on today's issue, we welcome our special guests. So let me do a quick introduction of everybody. First, we have Mrs. Diep. She is the country general manager of IBM Vietnam. She's been one of the technology leaders at IBM for 13 years. So welcome here today. Second, we have Miss Victoria Ossadnik. She is the board member and chief operating officer of E.ON, visiting from Europe. Welcome. Of course, Gina, our beloved chairwoman of welcome.
Hello, everyone. I want to tell why we have the talk today. 2 months ago, I have a business trip in Europe, and I come to E.ON. You know that E.ON is a very big company in Europe, Germany, and who does in energy fields. And I met Victoria. It's a very powerful woman in E.ON. So I have an idea that to invite Victoria in Vietnam. And today, Victoria will share with you, and all of us here will share with you what our journey in the technologies. And we want to encourage all of you here. So very happy to be here with you today. Please ask many questions to Victoria and us today.
Yes, we're very lucky to have all four leaders here, so please do ask questions if you have them. And our last and final guest, Ms. Lenka Prevuznakova, the unit and SDM manager of FPT Slovakia. Welcome to Vietnam. She's very familiar with FPT, of course, working in FPT, but in Slovakia. I'm sure she has a lot of same but different experiences that she'd love to share with everyone today. Without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start our first segment about the journey to technology. I think all of us have different reasons for being in the tech industry. I work in media today, but I actually started working in technology myself. And my story was all about my family history. My parents worked in it, my brother worked in technology in Silicon Valley. I started there. I've kind of moved away into media now, still connected. But I'd love to hear from these four ladies of leaders and ladies of technology about how they got started. So first off, we're going to start with Victoria and to Lenka as well. First question, though, will be to Victoria. We'd like to know how you got motivated to steer your career into technology. Did it start there? Did it start in somewhere else and you ended up into it? We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, first, thank you very much for having me here, and thank you very much for having me persuaded. Better? Better. So first, thank you very much for having me here, and thank you very, very much for having invited me, because like Vietnam is fantastic, and E.ON, we are really excited about what FPT has done here. That's really incredible. So that's just why did I start tech? And actually, for me, it's more why do I love tech? I just love understanding things, and I always did this. So I have a PhD in quantum mechanics. So after that, IT seemed easy, and quantum mechanics is really something I try to forget. And I think with technology, you can change so much. Like if you like human beings, and if you like business and understand technology, you can change so much. So this brought me to technology, and actually this ability to change kept me with technology. I pass on the
Yes, so also thank you very much from my side. As you can see, I'm more or less a wild card here, but I'm very happy to come to Hanoi and Vietnam also for my first time. So why I started in the IT or in technology, it was purely because of the incredible freedom that you can have as a woman. Definitely everybody can have a freedom, but freedom in technology and IT is incredible. It doesn't matter who you are, but if you deliver good, if you have a good brain, and if you have dedication to do stuff, you can do anything. And this is actually the industry that allows you to do that.
Very good. Thank you for those insights for the both of you. I'd like to move over to our guests, of course, from Vietnam. Same, but perhaps different experiences, and we'd love to hear from the two of you. So first, I'd like to have that question over to Mrs. Diep, who is, again, the country general manager of IBM.
Yes, first of all, it's really great pleasure to be here. And I really love FPT software because you are my IBM customer. So thank you again. So actually, as you know that I graduated from university in 1995. So you can imagine how good internet or technology during that time. I graduated from university, not technology related, right? So I started my career with a software company in 1997. And I think at that time, you know that I have no idea about technology. However, I feel technology really can bring a lot of value to our client. I start seeing that software can do a lot of things. So I really love technology. And I think in the modern business, technology can bring much value. So to me, bring to technology actually the specific turning point. I'm not really born with technologies, but right now I'm in technology companies. I know IBM is one of the largest technology company, and I think we, together with partners, also our partners, can bring the value to the client. Thank you.
1995, back then, not very many women entering software. So kudos to you for taking that jump and for inspiring the next generation of women in technology. Thank you, Ziet. Jihad, we'd love to move over to... Sorry about the technical problems. We'd love to hear your story. Jihad.
First, I would like to say that I'm not a tech woman, but I'm the woman who work in tech area. Yeah. I joined FPT when I was a student, by chance. And I come to FPT, and at that times in Vietnam, we have not much computers and IT equipment. 30 years ago, you see that Vietnam's just we have a big office and have some computer. And I worked in the FPT's retail to sell the computer, to knock the door, the house and the office to ask to sell the computer. 2 years later, I joined the FPT software to sell the software's accounting software called Balance. And then the first time I come to Singapore, It's a turning point how I work in technology fields. 1995, I attended Communique Asia in Singapore. So the first time I saw the internet there, it's something like a magic to me. You know that at that time in Vietnam, we don't have internet yet, just the intranet. FPTs, we build a network. We call it Vietnam Wisdom, trí tuệ Việt Nam, to attractive all young people to connect together, exchange the email and chatting only. But it's some kind like an internet at the time. So the first time I see the internet in Singapore, I see the people click and the website come out, even with the music. Something is magic to me. So I dream that one day that internet can come to Vietnam. We can bring the internet to Vietnam. So 2 years later, it's a good chance for Vietnam. We join the internet. So FPTs become one of the first 4 internet service provider in Vietnam. So 4 people from FPT software include me to spin off from FPT software to build the FPT Telecom. Yes, so from that time for more than 20 years, my journey started with FPT Telecom, and nowadays FPT Telecom is number 3 market share, telecom market share in Vietnam. And on our journey to build the telecom market, we build the FPT online, we build the FPT retail shop that you see the 1,000 shops nationwide in Vietnam today to sell the computer and mobile handset. It's from FPT retail. So my journey starts from the starting point when I see the magic things in technology. And 3 years ago, I transferred from FPT Telecom to FPT software. So that's why my journey is 30 years in FPT, working with the technologies area. Thank you.
Amazing. Round of applause. Yeah, remarkable story. When I first heard of FPT, the stories of FPT when I moved here 7 years ago, even last month, and from all the people of FPT, remarkable stories, and thank you for sharing yours as well. Hopefully it inspires you guys and whoever's listening to the webinar today. I'd like to also pose that question to Victoria. Victoria, sorry, this is the next question. E.ON and FPT software are quite similar in the sense that you operate globally, not just in your home countries, not just Vietnam, but you have to take what you know from Vietnam and go abroad. That's how you grow as a business and grow as leaders as well. Do you have your story about going to Singapore and discovering something new? Sometimes you can only do that by going to new places. So Victoria, my question for you would be, how did you prepare for your journey at a multinational company like E.ON? And how do you think your company is embracing that kind of diversity as well?
Yeah, I think you said both companies have a lot in common, and I think what we have most in common is digitalization. And we have different roles in digitalization, but actually, like when you say 95 internet, for all of us, it seems like ages, generations ago. If you now look into the rise of the new technologies, especially Gen AI, ChatGPT, it feels like this internet rise has been really slow, because ChatGPT, this stuff is feels like 100 times faster, and there are different takes on different nations, on different cultures, but this is very fast, and I think to deal with this, you need to talk to a lot of diverse groups. So cultures, geographies, gender, to understand what does this mean for us as a company. So for us, E.ON is the biggest European utility, and for us the biggest task is actually to bring good power to our customers, operating the biggest grid in Europe, and make the energy green. So for us, everything is about making the energy green and having a secure supply. And we can only do this with good digital technology. That's the only means actually to make this happen. So this is why we have partners like FPT, but it's also, and I think for all of you, this how you felt about the internet. I had this during my PhD, and I was like, wow, that's possible. If you now look into Gen AI, I mean, what's possible there? Like, it opens so many windows for all of you. And you need to take that, because I think, and this is why we need to go outside, we need to talk to each other, because anybody here, anybody in the US, in Europe can have a great idea how we do this best, not just for technology, but for humanity, because each time some innovations like that happen, we do a choice for humanity. And this is much more important than just doing technology. And this is why it needs all of you to make the right choice.
Very good. Thank you for that insight, Victoria. Round of applause. Diep, I'm going to move back over to you here. According to statistics, and we all know this as well, women-led businesses currently account for a much lower percentage than men-led businesses. Although I have to disagree in Vietnam, I think it's quite balanced, but I don't know the exact numbers. And the ratio is even lower in technology companies. How did you feel and cope with the pressure as the first leader of IBM in Vietnam, a multinational company in 25 years of them doing business here? What was that? Was there pressure? How did that feel like for you?
Okay. Yes, it's really pressure, but I also want to give you my perspective in terms of internal and external. First of all, after 25 years, I'm the first female leaders at the CGM of IBM, and also at the like the Vietnamese local CGM after 10 years, because previously 10 years the CGM is foreigner. However, for internal, I may want to share with you, like ASEAN ZK is one of the market of IBM Asia Pacific. It includes 9 countries, and Vietnam is one of the 9 countries. My ASEAN ZK boss is the female, and 6 among 9 CGM and technology leaders are female. So you can imagine I have no pressure for internal perspective. However, for external, yes, it really brings the pressure to me, because I mean, every customer and partners and also employees can see the CGM is a foreigner as well as the man during the last 25 years. And now at the leaders, how I can manage actually a lot of men, especially in the technology. So the pressure there, and some of my friends said that if I take this role, actually, as you know that I can share, I cannot drink beer or wine at all. So a lot of people said that, oh, the women in the technology, if you cannot drink, it's really a problem, right? However, during the last 2.5 years, I think everything okay, because I work with the client. I can bring more value to the client rather than it's drinking. But yes, my team can drink a lot, so it can help me, right? For the pressure they have, because I'm based in Ho Chi Minh, so I have to spend my time 1 week in Hanoi and 1 week in Ho Chi Minh City. So it really pressure, and however, I think I often say that I'm not the best person, but I know how to use the best people. So the team really based a lot in Hanoi. Almost of my tech leaders, back office in Hanoi, they can help me a lot. So pressure there, but I try, I can overcome. So I think that for the women, if we believe in ourselves and we think we can do, we can overcome the pressure. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for that, Diep. I'm going to move gears a little bit, and Lenka, I'll pose the first question to you. Have you encountered gender biases that hinder women access to technology? And what were the greatest obstacles, if any, from your perspective? Especially a European one, not here in Vietnam, but from your perspective.
I must say no. So in my generation, I would say you don't really feel any bias, like biases and similarities, you mean, yeah? So there are some similarities. So we can, like when we were in school, I think there were equally good girls at math or physics or chemistry, as well as guys. So we didn't feel any differences there. It's only once you move to the work, like a proper work, then you start feel, oh, I'm a woman, I shouldn't probably do this stuff. It's too much techie, or like that's only for guys, yeah? But I think now it disappeared. It's purely women and men can deliver the same. Yeah, it's all here. Yeah, it's pure technology allows it. It's not how much you can lift. It's how much you can push and how big are you. It's about how big is your brain and how much can you deliver, which value. So that's why also when you're watching like American movies, we often don't know if is it a woman or a man behind. It's just done. Yeah, so we do the same. We can do the same if we want to. Differences are definitely there, but we know how to benefit from them. Yeah, so if we learn how to balance it and how to put us together, men and women, the best we can deliver, then we can be excellent. That's why there is two genders, men and women.
Very good. Thank you for that. Victoria, I'd like to also ask you the same question, but twist it a little bit. You're also a board member. So you have two different roles. You have one as a board member and one as an employee. I'd love to hear from you how you balance that, those two roles as a woman in a big corporation like E.ON.
I think I would like to add something on this gender thing, because sometimes like people have asked me that, and I always said, yeah, no, it's okay. It's like there's no real gender bias. But I think if you then go back and think about your life, yeah, there has been gender bias. But like if you really think back, then you can take a positive and a negative take on that. So the negative take is, yeah, I did get a worse grade because this guy thinks girls can't do it or whatever. But then you look back with another bias and say, hey, what did I actually achieve because I'm a woman? Or because I was more visible? And actually, I had this, I want to share that because for me, this was really inspiring. I went a long time ago, I think 97 or 98. I had a startup with laser technology, and we decided we want to sell in Japan. So we found an agent, and I stood, only European, at a big trade fair in Japan. And I had no clue, honestly, I had no clue. And then I found out, like, okay, there were ladies serving coffee, and there were men selling technology. And there were only Japanese men selling technology. And there was me. Like mid-20s, female and European. And the first day, nobody talked to me. I was just like, okay, nobody came. And then nearly at the end of the first day, one gentleman who went to university in the US and had been working in the US, but was Japanese, came and said, yeah, hey, what do you really do? And then we started talking. And then he said, oh, you have a PhD? Yeah. In quantum mechanics? Yeah. Are you from Europe? Can you show these lasers? So I spent the evening showing his team all the laser stuff. And after that, we won the entire Japanese market. So if this would have been a man, nothing would have happened. But this was, hey, this female doctor from Germany is selling great lasers. And then all the customers came. And then I thought, hey, that's so cool. So you, like, on this gender thing, you just need to embrace who you are, and then there's good thing and bad thing. And overall, the mixture, at least for me, I was lucky. For me, the mixture was always positive. So it was actually good bias. So sorry for that, but I think that's do you feel bad or good? If you feel good about it, you probably can profit more. So on board and employee, actually, I never thought about that, because it is just I'm serving our customers, like whatever role I have. So I'm serving our customers. If they are thirsty, they get water. And if I'm in a board, I'm serving our customers, because we need to fulfill a role for our customers and shareholders. So I don't, it's nothing different, actually. So And that more I would think then as the only female, and we have not too many females around boards in Europe. I actually try to provide some color and some future orientation, but that's more for fun, because we have a future-oriented board, but it's always funny to be the only woman, because I'm allowed to have nice, colorful things, and the other board members have dark suits, so.
Very good. Victoria, I'm going to pose the next question to you as well, and then I'll ask the same to everyone else. So, Victoria, again, my next question is, what do you consider the most significant barrier? You mentioned confidence, you mentioned just the thinking. In English, we call it cynical. You think negative when actually just think positive, or maybe neutral, and you might actually be okay. So what would you say is the biggest barrier? And I'll ask the same question to you three as well.
I think this very much depends on the country. And there you, like, I think like most of us are blessed to be in countries where the biggest barrier might be in our heads. But there are a lot of countries around the world where women don't have the choice. And this is actually something we should never forget, how blessed we are to be allowed to work, how blessed we are to have like our own choices and to own our own lives. And so this is, but if I like look around and say I'm now talking for Europe and what I've seen from Vietnam, I think the one thing where I've like managing female leaders and what I've seen is, if there's like a new role where everybody knows there's no perfect fit, you would have, out of a 50-50 group from male and females, like all men will raise their hand and say, yeah, it's me, it's me, it's me, and they might have a 20% fit. And like all the females would say, oh, okay, no, I checked, I'm only like 60-70% fit, they need 100% fit, I'm not raising my hand. And this is something I think a lot of females across all continents share. And I think on the one hand it's good, because as a leader, if a female really raises the hand, you can be relatively sure statistically they might be able to do it. But on the other hand, it's limiting all of us. So we should be a little bit more courageous, like self-reflective, but a little bit more courageous.
Very good. Diep, I'll ask the same question to you. Most significant barrier for women pursuing careers in tech?
Nowadays, actually, is not really much barriers for the women following the tech. Because I often explain to people previously, they often think technology is something you just sit down, code in, do the networking, a lot of other things. But nowadays, technologies include a lot of other things, like cyber security, data analysis, for AI, artificial intelligence, and study technologies. You also can become like the account managers. You can work in business. You can support, bring the value to the client. So technology nowadays, I also want to urge all of you, especially onto the parents who have the daughter who want to pursue the technologies, is something different. Technology is not something previously, but nowadays a lot of things happen. So I don't think much barrier in technologies, for a woman to pursue the technology job. So when I work with some of my clients, a lot of my clients also ask if they have the daughter, how they can, sometimes they want to encourage them to follow the computer science technology. I think we should encourage them to follow the technologies, because I may tell you I really love technology, because I believe technologies are in progress, and I believe the modern technologies had paved the way for human. So again, I don't think much barrier in pursuing technology.
Very good. Same question to Lenka. Again, the question is, what do you consider the most significant barrier for women pursuing careers in tech?
Self-confidence. Yeah, I think I agree with Victoria. It's mostly we know, but we are not so sure if we are really 100% good, or if we are good enough. Yeah. So it's the barrier are that women are naturally like stepping back. Yeah, so like that's in us. So they need to little bit build on self-confidence. I believe in me. I know, but it's very, very important that we also know what we don't know. It doesn't mean you need to know everything. You just need to know people. Yeah, but the self-confidence doesn't mean that you have to know everything 100%. Be aware of what you don't know, but be very sure and very proud of the stuff you know, and then everything can happen. So many of my people in my team are women. They are very, very good, I must say. But they believe they are somewhere in the middle. Yeah, that's self-perception, how they feel they are. But if I look at the results and the facts, numbers, results, analysis, it's pure upper, like 20% top performers. So, dear women, please believe in you and be self-confident. Don't overconfident, but believe in yourself. That's the key to success and to how to cross the barrier.
Very good. And of course, we're going to finish with Jiha about the same question, the most significant barrier.
Yes. Let me start with one statistic in FPT University for the IT faculty. 11 years ago, when we have the first batch of the FPT University students who graduate, just only 5% is the women, the girls. Now, for last year's statistic, the percentage is 14%. Obviously, the numbers of the girls who study in IT is increased. But of course, it's still small. 14-15% is still small. But luckily, in FPT software, we have 31% is women. So we try to balance the rate and to encourage our humans in different roles, in different areas of FPT software. So let me share with you how we encourage the humans in FPTs. Can you please share the model of FPT software? FPT software is a pupil pyramid. In the corner over there, in the screen, you see the pyramid, and we have a 6 edge. For the 3 edge at the bottom, the triangles include one team, include learning, and include happy environment. I will explain to you one team. That means nowadays we have a globally activity. We have a project that runs in different location and need cooperate the one team. So one team inside FPT and one team with customer also. And last year in our FPT software, we have the campaign is learning to encourage our pupil to upgrade the skill. So last year we have campaigns that each FPT software pupil at least get the one international certificate, any fields that you good at. So we have a totally more than 21,000 the new international certificate last year. And this year's the 35-year anniversary of FPT Corporation. So we're launching the Happy Employees program. We try to create the happy environment for our people to make them try to develop to their fullest of talents, aspiration. So for the triangles at the bottom is we call the foundation value of FPT software, and the 3x is we call the level of FPT software. Is we need much more domain expertise. We need more technology and creativity, and especially we need the culture and diversity. So where women are, many FPT software for the foundation makes something is long-term growth. We need the strength of women, that who's patient and hard works and never give up. So it's combined between the long-term growth and the speed with the creation is how we leverage 31% of the human in FPT software. Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Round of applause. Before we move on to the next segment, which is about motivating the next generation of women, I'd also like to just share a quick little story on my side. So Vietcetera is about 65 full-time staff now. We do have an engineering team. It's about 5 people, 1 woman. But the whole company is I think 60% women. But for the longest time, the board of directors was only men, me and my co-founder. But that changed about 3 years ago when we hired a couple of C-level executives. We hired a CFO, and then we hired a chief content officer. And both are women. Both are mothers. They're both in their late 30s, I think. And before we hired them, I didn't really have an opinion about needing women balance. I thought it was a nice thing, but it wasn't like a priority. I was like, okay, great. If we have it, then let's go for it. But when you're a startup, you don't really think about that as much. You just think of survival. But after they joined, I actually realized there's a lot of benefits and learnings that you can have from just having a diverse executive team, not just a team, but also executives and leaders. So yeah, they're parents, they're mothers, but they're also very successful at what they do, and they've added a lot of capability to the company as well. So it also leads to business results. That was my point. Very good. We're going to move over to the second segment now, which is about motivating women. We talked a lot about their journeys, what they believe, but let's talk about the future. What is it going to take to move that 31% at FSoft to 50? What is it going to take to increase graduates from 15 to 30, let's say? So why don't we just start there? We're going to start with Diep. I'd love for you to touch upon what factors contribute to having so few women in general in technology today, in what you do.
I think the element of limitation for the women in the technology actually is for culture and also the availability of diverse talent to support the business. I think we also can overcome those limitations. So at IBM, we also have a varied initiative to attract and to open for the women and help them to balance and also to pursue the career in the technology.
And Victoria, over to you, same question. What factors are contributing to that scarcity, and do you think that'll continue?
Yeah, I think, again, looking around the globe, I had a lot of learnings where I thought, wow, I hadn't thought this. And one of them is we are having a lot of operations in the Eastern European countries and in Sweden, like the Nordics. And what I learned there is actually there's no scarcity. I mean, there's no, like, as you said, like coming from an Eastern European country, I mean, this is serious. There's like for 50 years, there's no scarcity. Because after the Second World War, like life started anew, and there were more women than men. And actually women just took these roles and stayed with them, especially in not super rich countries. And we profit a lot from that, because there we actually have like a balance, and then you can always debate this balance. In Sweden, I've been in a meeting where we had like 30 women and 2 men, and they were like, we feel really bad, we need to do something about diversity. And I'm like, oh yeah, but there are enough women. And then I was like, oh, this is not about women, this is about men. So actually we have countries who do that, like who have a history of doing that, and we can learn from them. And this actually means having a school system which is non-discriminating, which a lot of countries, like including Germany, where I come from, and France, where I partly live, it's a discriminating school system. And we need to have role models, because if there are enough role models, you like young ladies see, hey, it's possible to to have a family, to have great children, to have a career, to have technology, to embrace all of it, and also to be bold enough to say, sorry, I can't switch off my phone because my daughter or my son might be calling and they might need me, so if they call me, I'm going to answer the phone. Which is more something female leaders bring to the table, but if like there are enough of female leaders, then this is going to be culture. So I think that's a little bit learning from countries who achieved that, and then also finding their own way in their own culture, because it depends a lot on culture.
Lenka, same question to you. What factors do you believe have contributed to the scarcity?
So I would never think about what Victoria said just now, that it was actually really the case that there were too many women and we had to look after everything. Yeah? So we had no other choice but just to take the role of mother, of somebody who brings the money on the table. And also my grandmother, she's now 90. She's probably not watching because she doesn't understand, but she was also the first woman like in our family who actually went to the gymnasium and graduated, despite the fact that she never was able to go to like a proper work because she had kids and she had no other choice just to stay with the kids. But now with the technology, after with the ability that due to unfortunate COVID, but it was very bad things, but it also allowed to show what is everything possible. You can have kids, you can have part-time job, you can do multiple things. As long as you deliver well, it's all possible. Yeah? Before it was really also in my country to decide, do you want family or do you want a career? It was a clear decision. So there is no in between because it can take 6 years of your life that you have to decide, am I going full power career and I put every kid on hold, I won't have any kids, or somebody else have to help me. If you don't have anybody to help, that's about it. You have to wait. And then it takes about 2 to 3 years to get the self-confidence back, so I didn't forget everything I learned. That's still very active, also like in Slovakia I can feel it, that despite the women are very intelligent and they stop believing in themselves once they come back from when they were a bit kids, yeah? So now with the technologies that we have, with the part-time jobs, they can still stay active in the working life. They can keep up, they can develop further, they can learn, they can keep up with trends. So once they are back, they are fully back. So that's from my side.
Great. And we're going to finish that last question with Jihad as well. What factors, in your opinion, have limited FPT's numbers? I mean, it's very impressive that we've grown, but what are those factors?
Yes. So in order to encourage our women to go global and exploit the strength, so we have many programs to encourage our pupils. I remember that the year 2011, when I go on business trip in the US, I met one customer there, and I asked that lady, that customer, we have many good programs, and the percentage of females is very, very high. So I asked them, how you encourage your pupils, your women, to do the business good like this? And she said that every year she organized one day just to let the children from the 10 years old to 15 years old to come to the office, the parent office, with the parent office, and I come back Vietnam and apply to FPT. So from that time, FPT, we have the one day working with the parents. So we can help the ladies to take care of the family, because our women in ASEAN countries, we have a working responsible and families responsible also. Yeah, not much time for to take care every pupil, member of the family. So we just have many programs to help them to balance between the work, technologies, and the family. Another program is in FD Software. We are the unique company in Asia to organize the Parents' Day. That means we can bring our parents to show up the house, the beautiful office, how the technology running in FPTs. So 2 years ago, on that days, I see 3 generations, the grandmother, the mothers, FPT staff, and the daughter take the whole picture together, and the grandmother said, please look how your mother works. So try to work hard and learn hard, and in the future, please come to FPT software to work. So I'm really happy to hear that. Yes, thank you.
Jiha, I love your stories. They sound amazingly genuine and authentic. So 30 years, lots of stories. We're going to move over to the next question here, and I'm going to ask the first one to Diep here. Is the reality of the shortage of women in tech, is it actually causing problems for companies? That's a pretty big question to ask. We'll love your thoughts on that. The question again is the shortage of women in technology causing difficulties and limitations in companies, when a lot of studies, and all of us agree here too, that having a diverse workforce will allow us to operate more creatively and effectively?
Yes, okay, so nowadays, the company, I mean all the organization also recognize the importance of the women in the organization. So for each organization, they also have, like Ms. Ha mentioned, the different program in order to encourage the women in the organization, especially in the technologies where we often think about the man-dominated industry. So in IBM, we also have the different program. We set up various program for the women, and we also have the education training. We define in the training certification, also have the women like the job training, and define the program for the women to communicate and also integrate working with the other organization. And in IBM, we also work with some university, and nowadays more university, they have the interest to want to integrate the IBM learning material to their curriculum. This is one of the positive momentum that really encouraging for IBM to continue with our learning and training for the people. So I think it's not really a limitation, the barriers. We try to work, and IBM also cooperate with different partnership to build the program for the women.
I have another question for you, Diep. According to Accenture and a nonprofit organization called Girls Who Code, they mentioned that more than 50% of women working in tech will quit their jobs before the age of 35. That's 2.5 times higher than any other industry. Do you think that tech is an industry that is difficult for women to succeed? I mean, you've been in tech for a long time, so
yeah.
you've obviously been able to not be part of that group. What are your thoughts about that number, and is that changing in Vietnam?
I think in Vietnam, especially in my organization, nowadays for IBM Vietnam, like the population of women is up to 40%. So I understand for like the research mentioned about 2.5, right, percentage of the people left technologies. But I think in Vietnam nowadays, not only IBM, but all the companies like FPT Software, we really try to create the attractive and open program in order to encourage the people. We try to train the role for the employees in the organization. So if you look at, like in IBM, have many people, they train the role over the years. So some people, they work in the company like 25 or 30 years with maybe up to 7 or 10 roles, right? So I think in order to limit the left of the people in technologies, we need to build a really attractive program. And also we need to cooperate with the other organization. we need to set up the new role for the people, because sometimes the people in technologies, they quite very boring with the current role. We try to set up the other role for the people to change. Maybe they move from technology, very technical, to the business oriented. Yeah.
Very good. We're going to move questions here, and the first one will be to Victoria, and then the same question to Jiha. So Victoria, over to you. How have women in your organization played a significant role in shaping the company and driving innovation and growth? And how do you assess them and recognize them?
Look, I think I would always ask this question as how can individuals, because each single woman, each single man is an individual. So as an individual, you shape an organization. You don't shape or not shape an organization because you're female or male, would be my deep belief, because it's many more things which which make a person, which make your role, and I deeply believe this. So it's not, I think you might say statistically females bring this and this and this more to the board, and then you meet a female who doesn't meet that. I mean, you could also say statistically people who have blonde hair are more or less looked at or whatever. So it doesn't, for me it's more, how do you shape an organization, which beliefs do you have? And I think in a lot of countries, women would bring a different experience to their role. And then we've discussed this a little bit on, in the end, no matter how individual you are, it's the women who get the children. And there are some traditional and not so traditional roles as a woman which you have. And this means actually organizations who have a bigger diversity in terms of females are more embracing towards families. And not just females who have families, but also males who have families, saying, hey, it is completely okay to bring your children to whatever competition and you then just work at night or whatever. This is a movement which has been driven by females. So I think that this family aspect is coming more from females. Also this inclusion thing, saying, hey, we are respectful of other cultures, we are respectful of different needs, we are respectful of different abilities. Probably statistically, females can bring this more to the table, because this is more part of our history, because females tended to keep families more together, which required some tolerance. So you do, like females would do this in companies as well. But I wouldn't say it's a little bit of female, but the big thing on having females is actually like all of our companies are serving our population, and our population is around 50% female. So if we don't hear female voices, and this is the same for a lot of cases of diversity, not just gender. So if you don't include this, we are not serving these customers. And this is why I think it's super urgent to have more females and more diversity, because otherwise we are losing customers, and we are losing as companies and as governments sometimes the ability to discuss with everybody, because we are in like our own bubble. And this danger of bubble, if you look to the US and parts of Europe, the danger of bubbles gets much, much bigger if you don't have diversity. And a big part of this obviously is male and female.
Very good, thank you, Victoria. Same question to you, Jiha. You have a very unique perspective because, you know, we're talking a lot about the present and the future, which is great. But in the past, 30 years ago, when you were entering the halls of FPT software, were you thinking about this? Was it something that you thought about when you were younger? Hey, will I be around still at FSoft after 5 years, but you're here after 30? So maybe you can share about your experience and if we're doing enough for that.
When I joined FPT, at the time was only 150 people. Now it's 66,000 people after 30 years. And I joined some conference then in Singapore, Malaysia, and I see the whole conference rooms, the only few ladies. But now it's a change. In FPTs, we're lucky that the founder of FPTs, almost all of them graduate from the European countries, so they very open mind. And in FPT, we have slogan and mission that every activity is equal and inclusion, diversity. Nowadays, some from our customers' requirement for some project, we need the percentage, certain percentage is a woman. Otherwise, we lose customer. So in FPT, that's why for a long time, and we have many programs to focus and tries to help to support our women. I just give an example that in FPT we have the rotation program. That means to let our people to challenge in different roles. So I must say here in all our people here is various areas. The PM, testers, business analytics. And for certain of times, if we think that these areas is not suitable and we want to challenge the new areas and FPT, we have the rotation programs every year. So that means our ladies have many chances to show off our abilities and to find what is most suitable for each pupil. Now, another program is now we have the mentor-mentee platform. That means our pupil can have the matching system. For example, once pupil want to me to share how to balance between the work and life. She can click on and require me just 1 hour, very easy for her. So in FPTs, we have a platform and help our ladies can very flexible time because many in the daytime they have to work and take care of family, and we have appointments Saturdays, Sundays. So we try to create very good and open environment for our people here in FPT software. Yes.
I'm convinced. I wanted to join FSoft now. Thank you for that. We're going to move to the third and final segment here about vision. So we've spoken about motivation, we've spoken about their personal stories. Let's talk about the future. What kind of vision can we share for you? Most of you listening are on the younger side, our students, so we'd like to share that. And the big thing is, what are the solutions? What can we be doing? What can we be doing more? We're going to find out about in this segment. We're going to start with Victoria. As a leader today, when you're interviewing, hiring people, I'm sure you're hiring mostly executives at your level now, but even the interns perhaps. How do you assess their capacity, like not just skills, but also mindset? Are they prepared to join the modern technology company today?
I think it's always a combination. But I think for me, the first thing is always growth mindset. So the ability to adapt and the ability to learn more, achieve more. So what you shared actually, this, hey, everybody is getting an international certification in a year. I think that's a sign of growth mindset. Like people say, hey, cool, I want to learn that. Or like, I heard that some of you are learning Japanese in a couple of months. I think that's growth mindset doing that. So I think this mindset saying, hey, anything is possible. You dream and you just you have this dream and then you say, hey, that's where I want to go. This is people I would hire, because I would hire like exec leadership roles. So you need exec leaders who are inspiring and who have a growth mindset and saying who dare to have a dream and who have then, and this is the second part, the ability to slice down how you reach this dream. Because you have this dream and then you say, okay, it sounds impossible. And then a not so great leader say, yeah, it's impossible, let's continue what you do. Or the great leader is saying, hey, we want to go there. So actually this is like, we might not like it's here, but we don't go here, but this is the first step and then we take that step and that step. So paint the path and be able to adapt and say, okay, this is the path, and leading people. And at the same time being humble, being willing to learn and doing the dirty work. So I would always hire like leaders who go down to the ground and enjoy working with their teams, because then they are most respected and they add most value if they can do both.
For sure, definitely great insight there. I'm going to move over to Diep here. And by the way, keep in mind we have a Q&A at the end of this session. We're nearing the end of the session, maybe another 10, 15 minutes, so have your questions ready. Diep, You've mentioned IBM has policies and programs in place. Do you need to have more, or is there another fundamental challenge to that? Is it maybe the education system that maybe you believe could really be helping push this? Maybe it's external facilitation, like are there training courses? Are there programs that young people can be part of that's not just at IBM? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay. So actually I'm in IBM almost 13 years, and I also have a chance to work and also interview with different people, like senior people, the early professional high or the internship. In IBM, we have the platform called IBM Skill Build platform. So this platform actually is available for everyone. It's not only the student, but also for the job seeker, for educator in the institution. So this platform provides the latest digital training material for the people, and you can come to this platform and to define for the topic category, like in different segments, like data science, in also cybersecurity, for AI. So we define this platform for the people, and they also can set up the entry job competency. And we, for IBM, this is commit to provide 30 million people have a skill by 2030, right? So this, with this commitment, initiative part of the global in Vietnam, we, until now, we have about 1,200 learners work through this skill build, and we also build the training and also permit that for, they will have the certification, and this certification is approved and recognized by the IT industry as well as some organization worldwide. So I think we commit with the global, with the also the market, how we can set up the platform to build and attract more people.
Very good. We have our last question here, which all of you will answer. I'm going to start with Victoria. Considering the rapid pace of advancements, such as generative AI and all these different technologies, are there opportunities for women to kind of get ahead of the game here? You mentioned like women are very much more open-minded, they keep things together, they're maybe more receptive to these things. I'd love your comment on that. What could they get ahead in potentially, if anything?
Yeah, first, as I said at the beginning, I think Gen AI and ChatGPT as kind of a portal to Gen AI is bringing a big revolution to anything we do. And obviously it's programming, but it's also any research, any journalism, any car building, any whatever. I mean, that's really going, it's changing schools now, it's changing universities. So I think like anybody in the society, any role needs to play a role. And I think obviously first, nobody is good at that. So especially for young people, this is an outstanding chance because technology is reinvented. So nobody, like people who have spent like 10, 20 years with experience, they are not better than the young people. And this also means this is not even technical. I mean, this is math, and math is not female, male, or whatever historically. So it's even, and you need to be fast, so it's a big chance for young females to jump into this and start to own a part of this. And you can always, and that's the cool thing about the new technology, it's not just about technology, because this next generation is about combining something with technology, because the tech behind is so much now natural learning that you can add your specialty. And I'm super optimistic that we won't have this discussion on females in 10 or 20 years, because then it has become much more natural in technology.
Lenka, same question to you, and a reminder of that question. Considering the rapid pace of tech advancement, what key opportunities do you believe lie ahead for women?
Well, I will just, I just agree with Victoria. We have every opportunity we take. Yeah, so now, especially with these learning platforms, like from experience that I have, like there are so many learning platforms and materials, we don't know where to start, yeah? It's just coming from every side and come on, study, and I was like, I don't know what. It's like so much, so maybe My advice would be just take anything you really enjoy, because only then you can be excellent. Yeah, it doesn't. Don't go and put too much effort in something that you're average in, but just focus on something that you're excellent and go and educate, learn, get more information. The more you know, the better you can be. So this is equal chance for everybody, but just go and use all those platforms, GPT chat, all the learning opportunities. Go to, like you are now, go to the chat shows, listen to people who have, who you think they are quite interesting, you just don't know why, because also like these women here are my role models. Yes, so maybe you will find your role model and you will try to be better or like at least as good as they are. And this is your unique opportunity to go the right way and to like maybe be the first and the lead in this specific area.
Awesome, love that feedback. We're gonna have the two ladies here answer that question too, but not the same answers. I know it's hard. You all have the same opinions, which is great, strong opinions. Diep and then Jihan last. So Diep, last question. Considering the rapid pace of tech advancement, what key opportunities do you see ahead for women in technology?
The key
key opportunities. What opportunities do young people like the ones here have with the rapid tech advancement?
I think nowadays the key opportunity is quite a lot for the young women. So my advice is for the young women, you need to be focused because you need to focus. There are a lot of difficulty along the road, but you need to focus, learn as much as you can. The second is you need to be like open to any new challenge, even those you are not really sure that you are ready. So I just want to give you my own example so that it also can encourage the people. I have been with IBM for 10 years, and in 2020, my managers asked me to think about moving to the net role. So first of all, I rejected because I don't think I have enough capability and skill to take the role, right? So I remember my managers told me that, hey, Diep, sometimes you cannot recognize that you have the skill, right, until you take it. So I think you are open with the challenge, take it, you will have the new adventures, right? So be focused, also open to any challenge, and then the third one is you also need to be resilient. So you keep consistent and follow the goal that you already set. But the last list, I also want to encourage the young people that you need to find a mentor. So the mentorship is really very beneficial for the professional woman because you can get the inside information from the professional woman can help you a lot. And finding the mentor early in your career, and the time go on, you need to be giving back by to be a mentor for the other. So I think the opportunity there, we need to have set up the roadmap as well as the strategy first. I think it will be good.
Very good. And Jihad, you're going to be the last answer of the day before we do Q&A. Would love your opinion on what key opportunities do women have moving ahead?
Yes. So people know that technology changes so fast. And global always monumental change. So Vietnam nowadays become a potential destination for IT service in the world. So it's a big chance for our women here in FPT software. So the key factor is in order to accelerate the digital transformation together, so we need continue to upgrade our skill in language and communication. Because in order to communicate with others all over the world, we need to learn not only English. Today's English become the default and the common things, mandatory. And FPT software people now, so I believe that many people can speak 3 languages, 4 languages. So it's just upgrade our language to increase the communication with over the world. And second is for the technologies part. Also 2 months ago, I have a conference with the 12 ladies in Volvo car. And all of them is a very important role, keep important role in each department. The car platform, security, energy, all things is very complicated and they do excellent thing. So the chance for women is big. Just upgrade, open minds to learn more about technology, and we can do very good our role in organization. Yes, thank you.
I think, Jiha, just to end that note, one of you will, in the future, be the future chairwoman of FPT Software. If you continue down this route, you will take her job eventually.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone, for that wonderful panel discussion. We're going to move over to Q&A. We have some time to have all of you ask any questions that you'd like. If you're more comfortable in asking in Vietnamese, you're welcome to do that as well. We'll have a translator. English, of course, is welcome as well. So, questions. Do we have any out there? We have one young lady in the back. We have one over here. We'll start with the lady in the back.
Hello, everyone. It's my honor to have the opportunity to meet our talented speaker here. Today, I would like to share about my story and also ask you a question. 6 years ago, when I chose my desired major, I once thought of choosing between intelligence technology and business, but at the time I doubted about myself, and I thought that I was incapable of learning and grasp anything in technology. So I chose business field. But after I graduated from university, after 1 year and a half of working in my own field, I feel like that I was not suitable for the field, and I started chasing dream in technology, and I started changing my working and my career. I've just entered the technology field just 1 year ago. So I would like to ask for some of your advice about the girls who are taking the very first steps in the technology field. Do you have any advice for some girls like us? Thank you so much.
Great question. Would any of our speakers would like to? Jihan, over to you.
I see here one lady, Hương, please stand up. 2011, I met Hương in a Sony factory in San Diego. Hương is a girl that from the countryside and study about the technology. And Hương they stand, when I come to the lobby, I see Hương stay with 3 tall guys, US guys, and in the conversation, Hương play, important role and very success in our project. Hương worked for Sony in Japan, and Sony opened the office at the factory in San Diego and bring Hương team to US. So just Hương helped me to answer the question from in Epsop we call the fresher. It's after 1 year to join the technology. So how's your journey, and what does you advise for her to continue to pursue the dream? Yeah.
Okay, thanks Jihan for giving me a chance to share my story and also give some advice for our new members. Right? I would was in the countryside. I was graduated in 1999, and after that I joined FPT Software. So I think that normally when people think of the girls, the females, they think that they need to do something very less serious or with to make them more time for the family. For example, when you go to FPT Software, maybe some guy will ask you that you should be the tester or you should not be the developer. Yeah. So, but that in your case, I graduated from the university, and then after that, I joined as a developer. Yeah, not a tester. But it doesn't matter if you are the tester or developer, you work in a technology, so don't think so much, I think so. So just you like it, and you try your best, and don't hear a lot, because that will bias your thinking. So just do what you, and then any chance for you think that that's suitable, so you can try for that. So you, yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
I think Ba want to add something.
No, actually, I just want to add some questions. Yeah, hello, good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon to all the special guests today. Let me introduce a little bit about myself. My name is Viba, and come from FPT Software. And today it's such a great pleasure for me to be here and to listen to many inspiring stories and sharing from very honest guests today. And to tell the truth, from the beginning until now, I'm feeling that it reminds me so much about my story. That is the very early time when I have made such one of the most important decisions of my life. That I choose to pursue technologies as my career. Just shared an idea, and I quickly received a lot of feedback and advices from my family and friends. My father, who always had a big dream that his daughter, that's me, will become a teacher. You got to think that if I am the teacher, it's easier to get married with a man and have a lot of time to take care for my family. So that is a very bad job for a girl. And with from his mindset, he thinks that the success of a woman, that means you can marry with a good man and have a happy family, that's enough. And why? Why do you have to choose to enter such a very tough area like technology? Is something is very, very far away from his thing. And my friend, they asked me, oh, technology is something, it sounds very interesting. And it's always, very trendy. But you will have a very incredible feeling, because you will have the feeling of 1 in a million, that you are one girl in a million of males. That is a male-dominant area. So, actually you can go break through the barrier. That's we have to face with many challenges. However, to me, the hardest thing is to get over what society labels what women to be, and how they define how the successful the women are. So that time, I just think very simple. If I think like a normal, that's the other thing, I wouldn't be the normal. So I have a strong belief in myself and strong belief in technology. It can change my life. So at that time, I still decide to keep moving forward. And until now, I have the 14 years working in information technology. And I still feel no regret for that big decision that I have already made. But today, on this occasion, I think that I still have a curiosity, because currently I have played a lot of important role for FPT Software. As she has said, they give me a lot of chance to try many roles, from software engineering to now I am the manager of the business unit of data solution and technology. But now, as just a middle manager, I can feel the pressure. I can feel a lot of challenge. But the question is, for all of you here, you are in the C-level. It's a very high position. It's the top. So I can see that, I can feeling that you have to face with many challenge, many up and down. So the question is how you can keep the motivation and keep the fire, the strong fire inside yourself to inspiring other people around you to help you to get success and successful. I think that this question, I just want to give a Miss Diep. Okay?
Okay, I take the answer first. So first of all, congratulations that you have the right decision, right? So coming back, like I explained at the beginning, when I graduated in 1995, during that time, English, because I graduated from English University, so English probably may be a good tool for us to approach with international company. Because during that time, not many people good at technology, right? However, nowadays, technology is a good tool to help us to approach with many other career. Because it's not only us, like FPT Software or IBM, we do technology, but technology is help every career, doctor, teacher, finance, everything. So it's a good choice that probably in the future you may change the role, you may take another business degree, right? So it's good. And the questions you asked for us at the C-level, how we can motivate the team, how we can bring the energy to the team, right? So as leaders, we need to accept that we had more challenge than our people. So don't get all the challenge that we have, the pressure that we have to our team. Try to motivate, to understand, because you are leaders, you have to bear more challenge rather than your team, right? So and then you also need to leverage to your people, encourage them, help them to understand and also make the roadmap for them, because right now you are middle managers, you also have the ambition to move up, and how you can build the next generation and help you to help you to succeed in the next role. So that is my advice.
Victoria, would you like to add to that? One little bit from you.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit about the step from being a part of a team where you expect of yourself to deliver as good as possible, and then you deliver it and it's all good, and then you become a manager and you deliver and it's all good, it's suddenly vanishing because your entire team needs to deliver. And I think this is this journey as a manager, and so you need to let go, because if you don't let go part of this, like you can't deliver everything the 20 people below you are delivering in this pyramid. And if you go higher then, like this is getting even worse if you take all this weight of the world on your shoulders. So you deliberately need to understand what is your role to take this responsibility, but also to let your team perform and thrive and grow and trust them. And I think this is this balance of like stepping this management. There's also a lot about letting go and accepting other challenges and making sure that the weight always kind of stays the same.
We have time for maybe one or two more questions, let's say. The lady over here in the middle, very eager to ask a question. Okay.
It's me, right?
Yes, that's you.
So, firstly, oh my God, I'm so inspired after hearing all of the conversation from our speakers and guests. So why? Because I'm just a newbie on the technology. So I feel new challenges. I feel a lot of vision from the great leaders. And I learned that from the Victoria sharing. We need to be very confident with our way. We need to follow up study. And also from Lenka, that we need to bring more value to the consumers and customer. So also, I am now thinking of getting a new PhD after hearing from Victoria. So I just have a very simple question that because now the entire world is now changing very quickly. So what is the typical characters of Vietnamese women? Yeah, because we are Vietnamese women, that we need to leverage to gain the success in the technology career path, as well as what we need to input to fulfill to be the global leaders in the future, like you. Thank you.
Very interesting question. Yeah, for me, I always two questions in my mind. For all my activities, I always ask, what I can do better for this situation? What I can do different from this situation to make our people, our customers happier than this? So for answer this question, I always find that I need to improve myself every day, every hour, not every day, every hour. So that is the first question. Second question is, when we are in the team, I always ask in my mind that the question is, what I can do to support the member of the team better? What I can leverage their ability, because I believe that everyone have the very strong potential strength that we need to find out and to leverage. So in my mind, the question is, in this situation or this project, what I can support better for that people? So back to the questions, for Vietnamese women, what we need to leverage, we need to increase the I think Vietnamese women, we have the many words that are hardworking, loyalties, patient, never give up. So in general, that we keep moving day by day. Today is better than yesterday. Tomorrow is better than today. So just keep going, just moving forward, and you will be success in the future. Yes.
Thank you. If you follow her advice, you will be chairwoman of FPT Software. All right, thank you, everybody. That concludes today's seminar. Thank you so much to our esteemed guests from all over Vietnam and the world coming here today. Before they leave, we'd also like to present them with a bouquet of flowers for coming here today and just thanking them for their insights. So I believe that's coming up over here. Please, ladies, I'd love for you to stand up here.
FPT Software, accompany the future.